everyone. This is Jared Rand. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Saturday, March 8, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. I'm sure we've all noticed how life doesn't always go the way we expect. We have this idea of how things should be, how people should act, how the world should work. And right there, and that word should, is where all the trouble begins. We should on ourselves. We should on others. We should on our life. And what happens when we keep entertaining these shoulding thoughts? Life starts to feel, well, quite shouldy. The shoulding habit is a sticky trap, a mental loop that continuously breeds frustration and disappointment. The moment we believe that this life should be different than it is, we create a feeling of tension between reality and our desired outcome. And the crazy thing is, we do it all the time. That should creates resistance to manifesting what you want, often disguised as needing more control. And what lives inside that deeply controlling energy, what lives there? A deep-seated tension that creates a whole lot of suffering. Now, we don't suffer because of what is, right? We don't suffer because of what is. We suffer because of our shoulds. The way we think everything and everyone, especially ourselves, should be. But here's the magic. The moment we let go of this shoulding habit and embrace exactly reality as it is, all of that tension disappears. The body relaxes, the mind expands, life feels whole again. You can walk freely without stumbling into suffering. So the real question is, can you identify the shoulding habit in your own mind? Where in your life are you holding on to a should instead of letting go, trusting life, and allowing everything to unfold exactly as it will? Because inner peace isn't something we find. It's what happens when we stop fighting against what is. True freedom is living as if you had completely chosen whatever you feel or experience in this moment. Eckhart Tolle. Expectations are tricky. They creep in when we're not looking and wrap themselves around our minds like invisible chains. We expect people to treat us a certain way. We expect life to unfold according to our plans. We expect ourselves to be better, faster, more successful, more enlightened. There's always something more. But when we get caught in expectation, what usually follows? Disappointment. A sense that life has let us down. And yet, life never lets us down. It's just doing its thing. It moves like the wind. It's unpredictable, uncontrollable, wild, and free. It doesn't instantly conform to our personal agenda. And we can thank God for that. If it did, we'd miss out on the great adventure of the unknown. At the center of your being, you have the answer. You know who you are, and you know what you want. Lao Tzu. And the magic is accepting what is. So what's the alternative? How do we step out of this shoulding cycle of expectation and disappointment? The secret is returning fully to the present and accepting what is, even our unconscious habit to should on ourselves or others. Even our unconscious habit to should on ourselves and others. Now, when you bring awareness into the habit, it no longer runs the show. Then you deeply accept life, even when things don't go the way you planned. Even when people don't act the way you hoped. Even when life throws you unbelievable curveballs that don't make sense. This acceptance doesn't mean you are giving up on manifesting your desires. It is not a passive energy of resignation. Real acceptance is a deep yes to this life as it is in this moment. It's knowing that this universe has a bigger and better plan than what you're currently aware of. It is a personal invitation for you to step into the flow rather than fight against it. And when you stop trying to control everything, control reality, when you embrace it with an open heart and accept it in all of its divine glory, you activate something magical and powerful inside you. If the universe is taking something away, it's because something better is on its way, unknown. Most of us manifest from force and not from flow. This is the secret back door to manifestation that nobody talks about. It's perhaps one of the greatest kept secrets to manifesting everything you desire. Manifesting doesn't come from pushing your will or prayer out into this universe. It comes from surrendering to alignment. When you are aligned, you naturally drop the shoulds and stop resisting the divine intelligence of this universe. You shift from fear to trust and from force to flow. In that flow, manifestations happen effortlessly. Think about it. When you are relaxed, open, trusting, your energy expands. You feel powerful and magnetic. People, opportunities, and synchronicities find you. Instead of having to chase and strive after what you want, you attract it with ease. Why? Because you are no longer operating from a place of lack. You are not pushing, struggling, or gripping onto some rigid idea of how things should unfold. Instead, you are in alignment with the feeling of already having it. And manifestation is about resonance. When you are in harmony with the present moment, you naturally attract experiences that match that frequency. If you want more joy and freedom in your life, start by finding peace with who you are. and where you are right now. The greatest goodies in this universe will naturally flow to you. Want more wealth and abundance? Drop your shoulds about money and open yourself up to the feeling that you are already quite wealthy in many ways. Genuine gratitude attracts all the real abundance you will ever need. So this week, drop your shoulds around time and money. Relax into the divine timing of everything and watch how effortlessly this universe delivers. This is not some feel-good philosophy. This is the quantum field of how this universe actually works. The less effort, the faster and more powerful you will be. Bruce Lee. The juiciness of a conflict-free life. When inner peace meets outer peace, life turns into pure nectar. No more conflict. No unnecessary pressure. No resistance. No feelings of lack. Just an effortless, open-hearted embrace of what is. And from this space, everything feels divine. Everyone feels divine. So take a breath. Drop every should you are holding on to right now, just for a moment, as a wild little experiment. Feel what it's like to let life be exactly as it is. No fixing, no forcing, just letting everything be perfect as it is. Because this all-intelligent universe never makes a mistake. Feeling this perfection in every little thing is the gateway to awakening. The moment you realize that everything in this universe is already in perfect balance, in exquisite harmony, you see that nothing is truly out of place. Nothing is missing. And here's where real magic is born. The moment you stop bowing down to every big should, the weight of your inner world lightens. Your energy, once tangled in control and resistance, is now free to flow into creation. Your desires are no longer, they don't feel like an uphill battle, but a natural unfolding. Whatever you want is magnetized to you effortlessly. You start living life in deep trust, fully anchored in knowing this universe is already listening and ready to give you everything you want. Let the magical universe do its thing. Because the second you stop controlling life and start trusting it, life starts opening doors you never knew, you never even knew existed. So let it be easy. Let it be fun. And most of all, enjoy the ride. This journey that we are on is a continual journey, and we have different experiences along the way. And out of every experience, we have choices on how to learn, what to learn. Most of us on this planet fight life. We've been taught to fight life instead of letting go, surrendering. When you let go, you feel at ease. You don't feel conflicted. You aren't stressing or worrying. You're going with the flow. You're riding the wave. Why is it that the majority of us fight the wave. We fight the water. And we don't know it. It's not like we know it, that we're very aware of it. It's what we do. We fight life. We're plunged into a lack of society where we conform to the lack of society. And then we don't fully comprehend why things don't happen for us, because we're always thinking things happen to us and not for us. When you stop fighting things and you just kind of kick back and relax, that's when all the magic flows in. Right? That's when all the magic flows in. Most of the time, we'll just stop and block the magic from flowing in. Because we aren't quite sure. And we feel better, for some reason, when we control things. Got to be in control, right? Can't lose control. Got to be in control. And what does that bring? Stress, irritability, anxiety, all kinds of stuff. So if you looked at life from outside, you just look at life as a whole, and watching how all of us fight it in different ways. Push it, argue with it, disagree with it, question it, mostly all the time. And what does that do? Well, it keeps us in this cycle of non-attraction. That's what it does. All the things that we want, our life, our, everything about it, seem to be fleeting. Because we don't realize that when we just say, you know what, I'm deeply grateful for the very moment I'm in. Life is as perfect as can be. Now, a lot of people, they had a very difficult time embracing that, because they feel that if they aren't in control and they aren't directing, then they're going to be lost and everything's going to come tumbling down. This is a fear that keeps people in. You know what I mean? It keeps people in this flight to fight. Now, it's not like that we're really aware of that. We just do it. It's kind of like a knee-jerk response. And then, as we know, we begin to realize that, people say they get tired of life, and is it really worth it? And all the stuff that they're confronted with. Or maybe they should just check out. And the perspective is on how you embrace everything and just let go. Surrender. You want to fly high in the balloon, you're not going to keep a bunch of ballast sitting there in the bottom of the basket so it just keeps you 5 feet off the ground. Well, that's kind of safe, right? Because, if something happened, you could crawl out of the basket and then you could just step down on the ground. But you start pulling that ballast out, and you go up higher and higher and higher, and no longer can get on that basket and then step down onto the ground. You take flight. And it's almost like The universe is the pilot of the ship that is your life. And what you're doing is you're sitting there watching it, enjoying it, embracing it. Because you have full trust, faith, and confidence in yourself and the universe. You say, this is all perfect, exactly the way it is. You ever caught yourself saying that you say you wouldn't change a thing in that very moment? That everything is perfect exactly as it is? When we're so preoccupied, which we all get, none of us are exempt from it. When we stop being preoccupied and we just open up the door and just let it all out, that's when we start to find peace. That's when we start relaxing, being at ease. That's how, and any of you that have experienced that, it's great. Because you don't have that stress, and you don't have that kind of choppiness, bumpiness. It's just kind of smooth. And most people think life happens to them. And actually it doesn't. It happens for them. Always has. And yes, we take on different perspectives because of what we believe, what we've been taught. But in the end, we determine. We really do. We determine our lives. Nothing else does. We design our lives the way we want them. Even if the interesting thing about it is, even if we don't know that we feel that something else is doing it. You say to yourself, I didn't do that. And your future is designed by you. You're the God within that body. Omnipotently powerful, supreme, manifesting, abundant being that never dies in that body. So why is it that we feel that we have to control everything? We get nervous if we don't. We get upset, irritated, frightful, because we're not in control. Got to control it. Why is that? Well, it's a few folds, because we don't believe, we don't have enough trust in ourselves, in this universe, faith, and confidence to let go. Control is like you got your hands on that steering wheel and you're not going to let go. Period. No matter what. Because a lot of people feel they'll lose themselves if they take their hands off that steering wheel. Or they get an accident. Something bad's going to happen. We are the master creators and commanders of everything. Yet, we don't believe that we are. Isn't that wild? And then one might say, well, what do you mean? If you believed that wholeheartedly, what do you think and how do you think things would be? Joy, bliss. But if you look at the planet, look at the entire civilization, look everywhere. Without judgment. You're just viewing. And you notice that this is pretty much a common denominator. People trying to control everything, trying to control their lives, trying to control their happiness, trying to control their joy, trying to control their sadness. It's just like everything has to have a control. Doesn't it? You look at all the governments of the planet, they always have to have control, don't they? Control over what? The people. Can't have the people being self-sufficient and self-responsible, can we? So we decide for ourselves how we're going to go through life. And the only way we find out eventually, the only way that will happen is if we let go, is if we surrender. Did all this stuff, it's like you say, I'm just letting go of this stuff. And I'm not throwing it away or that. I'm just going to let it go. I'm not going to grip onto it and hang on to it all the time for dear life. Have you ever noticed, maybe you've experienced this, some of you, where you have nothing, zero, okay? You don't have a house, you don't have a car, you don't have belongings, really, you don't have anything. The beauty in that is that the feeling you have is completely light. Oh, it's not a care in the world. If you, or when you determine is that you can create anything, so that you're in a place of renewal. And it depends on how you feel about you, what your confidence is, trust and faith. That's it. If you don't have that, then you're going to wallow in all the muck and the goop. And because we don't know who and what we are, for the most part, most of us get into the muck and the goop. We don't understand why we stay there. So we have this life that we embrace, that we're deeply grateful for, moment to moment. It's the only place to be, moment to moment. No matter how tempting it is to go into the future, into yesterday or tomorrow, where we all suffer. And by learning that, you realize that the only time I'll ever have is the present moment, the now. It's all any of us have. We don't have tomorrow. We don't have yesterday. We just have the now. Isn't that crazy? Because most of us live in yesterday and tomorrow. How do you think we get so stressed out? How do you think we get so miscombobulated? Because most of us are living in yesterday and tomorrow. And the few of us that do what we can to live in the now find it a completely different, enlightened experience where we don't have all of that weighing us down. We don't have it. And we're clearer, more concise, more direct, and we attract a whole bunch more. And because we know what we are attracting, it isn't a negative. It all boils down to how we feel about ourselves. How we feel about ourselves. What do you think about you? How do you feel about you? You love yourself? Or do you have all kinds of stuff you don't like about yourself? And you haven't made peace with any of that. So you grab that and you take it through life, which then makes your life much more bumpy. This whole thing is about knowing ourselves, knowing who and what we are, living in the now, mastering the ego mind yesterday and tomorrow, mastering our thoughts, and enjoying this life. And that's how we enjoy the life. By committing to those things I just shared. So in the quiet time of this meditation, see, there's no quick way. There's no such thing as a quick way. You identify and embrace one step at a time. So the commitment that you make to yourself is that you're going to start going within, and your commitment is to discover who and what you are within that body. You kind of have an inkling that it's pure consciousness, that it's God, that we call pure consciousness on this planet God. And you know that it's a place of bliss, joy, happiness, peace, tranquility, that it isn't disrupted at all, and that your life is the way you have it, the way that you feel, the way it should be, vanishes. And what you do is that you know that you become the magnet of attracting whatever it is you want. Being aware, mindful of your thoughts, so you know exactly what you're sending out, and it comes to you. That's how it works. Peace, relaxation, joy, bliss is within each and every one of us. All we have to do is go within and embrace it. It's not out there. Never has been out there. Sure, you have little periods of times where you enjoy that. It doesn't last. So you're again like the ego mind is pulling you into different directions because you want more. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close us out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. And an easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still, relaxed into your body. Focused on your breath rising and falling. Look even deeper within. What is generating your thoughts? Where is the source of the thoughts that are coming through your mind right now? Ask yourself randomly today, if you're not this whirlwind of thoughts, who are you? And then look beneath them and beyond them. Sit with this question for at least 10 minutes today. Where are my thoughts coming from? This infinite universe, pure consciousness, and change are the only three constant things in this life. Meditate on them all throughout your day today. Practice embracing this truth on all levels, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Let this truth seep deeply into your core. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here Sunday, March 9, 2025, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call. Be gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Be in the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal gratitude at all times. No matter what's happening within you or outside of you. Open your heart and allow the magic to flow in.